they have the potential to be a contender if the health stuff works out.
And we're not sure if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., if they do come back, are they going to be 100%?
Moving on to the next team in the West. And this team's interesting because they've been dealing with injuries a lot for the year, but right before the playoffs, or maybe going into the playoffs, is supposed to be when a couple guys are going to be coming back, and that is the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. have been out for quite some time, but the reports are saying that about playoff time is when they're supposed to be back. Chad, how do you feel about the Denver Nuggets, pretenders or contenders? And let's not forget, everyone, that they did make it to the Western Conference Finals in the bubble when they were healthy last.
I'm going to say pretender, and this is strictly because I'm not sure if, and we're not sure if Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., if they do come back, are they going to be 100%? I mean, Jamal Murray, once again, hasn't played basketball, and also kind of like the same Klay Thompson timeline, right? Basically since or after the bubble, so almost a year and a half. Yeah. Michael Porter, he was already kind of struggling before this injury earlier in the year, and then they shut him down. So, and he's still young and figuring it out too. I think, yeah. So I think this is a pretender that the Nuggets are pretenders. I think that they'll probably win a round or two, maybe. But at the end of the day, I mean, Jokic is great, but when your second guy is Aaron Gordon, who's solid, I'm not disrespecting Aaron Gordon, but he's more of a role player type guy, not your second fiddle to your star or co-star right now. So, yeah, this is not going to be their year. Maybe next year when, a healthy Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr., when other people can contribute on offense other than Jokic. But for right now, I'm going to say they're pretenders. I'm not confident in the health of those two.
Yeah, the Nuggets are a weird one for me because I would say if I had to pick one right now off the top of my head, I would go pretenders as well. But I feel like they have the potential to be a contender if the health stuff works out. Like if Jamal Murray comes back and picks up right where he left off, like he did in the bubble, I mean, that's the massive difference. If Michael Porter Jr. comes back and picks up right where he left off towards the end of last season, that's a massive difference maker. And so I think they have the talent to be a contender. But like you said, I don't know if they have the time to make everything work, to get those guys back ingrained in the offense and just rebuild that chemistry. Because although this is professional sports and these guys have played together for a long time, I mean, when you go, a month, a year, all of a sudden a year and a half without Jamal Murray, or, about a year without Michael Porter Jr. I actually can't remember when he got hurt. Maybe not a full year, like 6 months or so without Michael Porter Jr. Like the offense just changes. It changes to fit around the guys that you have out there on the floor. And when you bring those guys in, it's going to drastically shift because now the ball might be in Jokic's hands less because Jamal Murray can have it a lot more. You have guys who can score on their own to where Jokic had to create for everybody else. And those sound like positive things. But once again, you got to get used to that. And I don't know if those guys come back right for the playoffs. And at least currently you'd be matching up against Golden State. I'm not sure that I'm ready to pick you to beat them. So I think they have the potential to be a contender, but just like you said, because of the injuries, if I had to pick right now, I'm going to say they don't have enough time to figure it out. They're going to be pretenders.